Atomic Habits by James Clear is a book about how small, consistent changes can lead to remarkable results. The central idea is that habits compound over time, shaping our identity and influencing long-term success. Clear emphasizes that success is not about setting big goals but about designing systems that support positive habits. The book begins with Clear's personal story of a severe injury he suffered in high school when a baseball bat struck his face. The accident resulted in a coma, seizures, and long months of recovery. Despite this setback, he slowly rebuilt his life through small, incremental improvements: better sleep, structured routines, and disciplined study habits. Over time, these tiny changes helped him excel in college and become an expert in habit formation. His story demonstrates the transformative power of small habits and how they shape our identity. Clear introduces the idea that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just as money multiplies through compound interest, tiny improvements in behavior add up over time. If you improve by just 1% every day, you become 37 times better in a year. Conversely, bad habits also compound and can lead to failure if not addressed. The key takeaway is that small, consistent actions have an exponential impact. Many people focus on setting goals, but Clear argues that systems, the daily habits and processes we follow, are more important. Goals are about achieving specific outcomes, like losing weight or writing a book, whereas systems are about the processes that lead to those outcomes, such as exercising daily or writing 500 words a day. Success is not about a single big achievement but about consistently applying the right habits. If you focus on the system rather than the goal, results will naturally follow. One of the most effective ways to build habits is through habit stacking, where you attach a new habit to an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth, you do 10 push-ups. After pouring your morning coffee, you meditate for 1 minute. After finishing work, you read a book for 10 minutes. This technique leverages existing behaviors to create new positive habits effortlessly. How habits shape identity. A key argument in Atomic Habits is that the most effective way to change behavior is to focus on identity rather than outcomes. Clear explains that true behavior change is identity change. Instead of saying, "I want to run a marathon," shift your identity to "I am a runner." When habits align with identity, they become more automatic and long-lasting. Many people fail to change because they set goals without altering their self-perception. If you identify as someone who dislikes exercise, you will struggle to maintain a workout routine. However, if you adopt the identity of an active person, exercising becomes a natural expression of who you are. Clear provides a simple two-step process for identity-based habits. Decide the type of person you want to be. Prove it to yourself with small wins. For example, if you want to be a writer, commit to writing just 1 sentence per day. These small victories reinforce the identity, making the habit easier to sustain. The role of belief and reinforcement. The book highlights how habits are built through reinforcement. Every action taken is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Repeated behaviors strengthen the self-image associated with them. Over time, small changes create significant identity shifts. Key takeaways: true habit change starts with identity. Focus on becoming the type of person who embodies the habit. Small actions reinforce identity. Consistent small wins shape self-perception. Behavior change is easier when aligned with self-image. Identify with positive habits for sustainable growth. The first law of behavior change: make it obvious. The first step in building good habits is to make them obvious. Many of our habits operate on autopilot because they are deeply ingrained in our daily routines. If we want to change them, we must first become aware of them. The habit cue and awareness. Habits are triggered by cues, specific stimuli that prompt us to act in a certain way. These cues can be time-based: waking up, eating meals, going to bed; location-based: entering a gym, sitting at a desk; emotional-based: feeling stressed, bored, or anxious; preceding event-based: finishing a task, receiving a notification. To develop better habits, Clear suggests creating a habit scorecard, which involves writing down your daily routines and identifying which ones are helpful, neutral, or harmful. By increasing awareness, we gain control over our behaviors. Implementation intentions: planning for success. One powerful way to make habits obvious is through implementation intentions, a strategy where you set a clear plan for when and where you will perform a habit. The formula is: I will behavior at time in location. For example, I will meditate for 5 minutes at 7 a.m. in my bedroom. I will read for 20 minutes at 8 p.m. on my couch. Research shows that people who use implementation intentions are significantly more likely to follow through with their habits. Designing your environment for success. Another key strategy is environment design, which makes good habits more obvious and bad habits less tempting. For instance, if you want to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables in plain sight. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, place books in visible areas around your home. Our surroundings shape our behaviors more than we realize. By modifying our environment, we can make positive habits the default choice. Key takeaways from the first law: make habits obvious, increase awareness through a habit scorecard. Use implementation intentions, set a clear plan for when and where habits will occur. Design your environment, structure your surroundings to support good habits and discourage bad ones. The second law of behavior change: make it attractive. The second step in building better habits is to make them attractive. The more appealing a habit is, the more likely we are to adopt it consistently. James Clear explains that habits are driven by cravings, and by making our habits more enticing, we increase the chances of sticking to them. How dopamine drives habit formation. Dopamine is a key neurotransmitter in the brain's reward system. It plays a crucial role in motivation and reinforcement. When we anticipate a reward, dopamine levels spike, increasing the likelihood of taking action. This means that the expectation of a reward is often more motivating than the reward itself. By associating our desired habits with pleasure, we make them easier to adopt. Temptation bundling: linking habits with enjoyable activities. One strategy to make habits more attractive is temptation bundling, which involves pairing a habit you need to do with an activity you enjoy. This creates a positive feedback loop that encourages repetition. Examples include: listening to your favorite podcast only while running, watching your favorite TV show only while exercising on a treadmill, drinking your favorite coffee only when you sit down to read. By combining pleasure with productive habits, we increase the appeal of the behaviors we want to reinforce. The role of social influence. Our habits are shaped by the people around us. We naturally imitate the behaviors of those we respect, admire, or spend the most time with. Clear identifies 3 groups that heavily influence our habits: the close family and friends, the many societal norms, the powerful, those we look up to. If we surround ourselves with people who have the habits we aspire to, we are more likely to adopt them ourselves. This is why joining groups where our desired behavior is the norm can be a powerful motivator. Reprogramming the mindset around habits. Another method to make habits more attractive is by shifting our mindset. Instead of saying, "I have to work out," say, "I get to strengthen my body." Instead of "I have to read," say, "I get to expand my knowledge." Reframing habits in a positive light makes them feel like opportunities rather than burdens. Key takeaways from the second law. Make habits attractive, associate them with positive emotions and rewards. Use temptation bundling, pair habits with enjoyable activities to increase motivation. Surround yourself with people who have the habits you want. Social influence plays a significant role in habit formation. Reframe your habits positively. Changing perspective makes habits more desirable. The third law of behavior change: make it easy. The third step in building better habits is to make them easy. James Clear emphasizes that the more effortless a habit is, the more likely we are to do it consistently. We often assume success is about motivation, but in reality, it is about reducing friction and making the habit as simple as possible. The law of least effort. Humans tend to follow the path of least resistance. If something is easy to do, we are more likely to repeat it. This is why setting up an environment that minimizes effort can significantly impact habit formation. For example, keeping healthy snacks visible and junk food out of sight makes healthy eating easier. Laying out workout clothes the night before reduces the effort required to exercise. Having books easily accessible makes reading more convenient. By reducing the number of steps needed to start a good habit, we increase the likelihood of sticking to it. The 2-minute rule: starting small. One of the most effective ways to make habits easier is by using the 2-minute rule, which states, when starting a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The idea is to make the habit so simple that it feels impossible to fail. Examples include: instead of read 1 book per month, start with read 1 page per day. Instead of exercise for an hour, begin with do 1 push-up. Instead of write a chapter, commit to write 1 sentence. Once you establish a small habit, it is easier to build upon it. The key is to show up consistently, no matter how small the effort. Automating good habits. Another way to make habits easy is through automation. By removing the need for decision-making, we can integrate habits effortlessly into our routines. Examples include: setting up automatic savings transfers to encourage financial discipline. Using meal prep to eliminate the effort of daily cooking decisions. Scheduling workouts in advance so they become non-negotiable appointments. The more we automate our habits, the easier they become. Reducing friction for good habits and increasing friction for bad ones. To build good habits, we should reduce friction, anything that makes the behavior more difficult. Conversely, to break bad habits, we should increase friction. Examples: to watch less TV, unplug the device and put the remote in another room. To use social media less, log out after each use or remove the app from your home screen. To work out more, choose a gym close to your home or workplace to minimize excuses. By strategically adjusting friction, we can make good habits more natural and bad habits less appealing. Key takeaways from the third law. Make habits easy, reduce friction and simplify the process. Follow the 2-minute rule, start with small, easy actions to establish consistency. Automate habits, remove the need for decision-making. Use friction strategically, reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad ones. The third law of behavior change: make it easy. The third step in building better habits is to make them easy. James Clear emphasizes that the more effortless a habit is, the more likely we are to do it consistently. We often assume success is about motivation, but in reality, it is about reducing friction and making the habit as simple as possible. The law of least effort. Humans tend to follow the path of least resistance. If something is easy to do, we are more likely to repeat it. This is why setting up an environment that minimizes effort can significantly impact habit formation. For example, Keeping healthy snacks visible and junk food out of sight makes healthy eating easier. Laying out workout clothes the night before reduces the effort required to exercise. Having books easily accessible makes reading more convenient. By reducing the number of steps needed to start a good habit, we increase the likelihood of sticking to it. The 2-minute rule, starting small. One of the most effective ways to make habits easier is by using the 2-minute rule, which states, when starting a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The idea is to make the habit so simple that it feels impossible to fail. Examples include, instead of read 1 book per month, start with read 1 page per day. Instead of exercise for an hour, begin with do 1 push-up. Instead of write a chapter, commit to write 1 sentence. Once you establish a small habit, it is easier to build upon it. The key is to show up consistently, no matter how small the effort. Automating good habits. Another way to make habits easy is through automation. By removing the need for decision-making, we can integrate habits effortlessly into our routines. Examples include, setting up automatic savings transfers to encourage financial discipline. Using meal prep to eliminate the effort of daily cooking decisions. Scheduling workouts in advance so they become non-negotiable appointments. The more we automate our habits, the easier they become. Reducing friction for good habits and increasing friction for bad ones. To build good habits, we should reduce friction, anything that makes the behavior more difficult. Conversely, to break bad habits, we should increase friction. Examples, to watch less TV, unplug the device and put the remote in another room. To use social media less, log out after each use or remove the app from your home screen. To work out more, choose a gym close to your home or workplace to minimize excuses. By strategically adjusting friction, we can make good habits more natural and bad habits less appealing. Key takeaways from the third law. Make habits easy, reduce friction and simplify the process. Follow the 2-minute rule, start with small, easy actions to establish consistency. Automate habits, remove the need for decision-making. Use friction strategically, reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad ones. The fourth law of behavior change, make it satisfying. The fourth step in building better habits is to make them satisfying. James Clear explains that we are more likely to repeat a behavior if it provides immediate pleasure or a sense of reward. When habits feel good, they become sustainable. The role of immediate rewards. One of the biggest challenges with good habits is that their rewards are often delayed. For example, exercising today 1t immediately result in visible weight loss, and saving money 1t make you wealthy overnight. To stay consistent, we need to find ways to make habits satisfying in the short term. A simple way to do this is through reinforcement, giving yourself an immediate reward after completing a habit. Examples include, treating yourself to a favorite podcast only when exercising. Checking off completed tasks on a habit tracker. Placing $1 in a savings jar each time you complete a workout. These small rewards help reinforce good behavior and make habits more enjoyable. Habit tracking, a visual reinforcement. Tracking habits is one of the most effective ways to maintain them. Seeing progress visually can be highly satisfying and provides motivation to continue. Examples of habit tracking methods include, marking an X on a calendar for each day you complete a habit. Using an app to log progress. Keeping a journal to record daily achievements. The key to habit tracking is never breaking the chain, maintaining a streak for as long as possible. Missing one day is fine, but avoiding 2 missed days in a row helps keep momentum going. Accountability, the power of social pressure. Humans are social creatures, and social expectations play a powerful role in shaping our behavior. Making a habit public or committing to an accountability partner can increase the likelihood of following through. Examples include joining a group where your desired habit is the norm, finding a friend to check in with on progress, sharing your goals with family or online communities. Knowing that others are aware of your commitment can make you more motivated to follow through. Making bad habits unsatisfying. While making good habits satisfying is crucial, making bad habits unsatisfying can also be effective. One method is to introduce an immediate consequence for engaging in a bad habit. Examples include placing a financial penalty on breaking a habit, such as donating money if you skip a workout. Using an accountability partner who will call you out for slacking. Associating bad habits with negative emotions to create psychological discomfort. By ensuring bad habits have an immediate downside, we can discourage their repetition. Key takeaways from the fourth law. Make habits satisfying. Immediate rewards increase habit sustainability. Use habit tracking. Visual progress motivates consistency. Leverage social accountability. Public commitment strengthens commitment. Make bad habits unsatisfying. Introduce immediate consequences to discourage unwanted behaviors. Leverage social accountability. Public commitment strengthens commitment. Make bad habits unsatisfying. Introduce immediate consequences to discourage unwanted behaviors. Advanced techniques for mastering habits. As habits become part of daily life, refining and optimizing them is crucial for long-term success. This section explores advanced strategies to ensure habits remain effective and sustainable. The Goldilocks rule: staying motivated in the long run. Habits must strike a balance between challenge and achievability. If a habit is too easy, it becomes boring. If it's too difficult, it leads to frustration. The Goldilocks rule suggests that tasks should be challenging but attainable just beyond our current abilities. To stay engaged, increase difficulty gradually as you improve. Track progress and adjust habits as needed. Set milestones to maintain motivation. Habit mastery and identity. Long-term habit success is tied to identity. Instead of focusing solely on outcomes, align habits with self-image. For example, instead of "I want to run a marathon," adopt "I am a runner." Instead of "I should read more books," identify as "I am a reader." When habits become part of who we are, they are more likely to persist. The role of reflection and review. Periodic evaluation helps refine habits and maintain consistency. Key strategies include weekly habit check-ins to assess progress and make adjustments. Journaling to document insights and challenges. Accountability partners to provide feedback and encouragement. The downside of good habits. While good habits are beneficial, they can sometimes lead to complacency. Over time, routines may lose their effectiveness. To counter this, introduce variety. Small changes can reinvigorate a habit. Challenge assumptions. Reassess habits to ensure they align with long-term goals. Stay adaptable. Adjust habits as circumstances change. Key takeaways from advanced habit strategies. Use the Goldilocks rule. Keep habits challenging but achievable. Align habits with identity. Reinforce self-image to make habits stick. Reflect and review regularly. Ensure habits remain effective over time. Avoid complacency. Modify and evolve habits as needed. The dark side of good habits. While habits are often discussed in a positive light, there are potential downsides. Some habits, even beneficial ones, can become restrictive, counterproductive, or even harmful when taken to extremes. The risk of over-reliance on habits. Once a habit becomes automatic, it can be easy to follow it without questioning whether it still serves its purpose. This can lead to mindless repetition, performing a habit out of routine rather than necessity. Stagnation, failing to improve or adapt because a habit feels sufficient. Ignoring better alternatives, continuing a habit even when a superior approach exists. To prevent this, periodic reassessment is essential. Regularly evaluate habits to ensure they align with long-term goals. The plateau effect, when habits lose their impact. Over time, habits can become less effective as the body and mind adapt. This is common in fitness routines. Muscles adapt, requiring new challenges to continue progress. Learning habits, repeating the same material without deeper engagement leads to stagnation. Work habits, tasks become second nature, reducing innovation and creativity. To counteract this, introduce deliberate challenges and variations to maintain progress and prevent plateauing. The trap of identity rigidity. While aligning habits with identity is beneficial, it can also become restrictive. If someone strongly identifies with a habit, they may resist change even when it's necessary. Examples include a runner who insists on running daily despite an injury, a writer who forces daily writing even when experiencing burnout, a productivity-focused individual who struggles to relax. To avoid this, maintain flexibility in habits and recognize when adjustments are needed. When good habits become obsessive. A habit that starts as beneficial can become harmful if taken to extremes. This is common in exercise addiction, excessive workouts leading to injury, workaholism, prioritizing productivity over well-being, perfectionism, over optimizing habits at the expense of practicality. Moderation is key. Practicing self-awareness and balance ensures that habits remain beneficial. Key takeaways from the dark side of good habits. Reassess habits regularly, ensure they still align with goals and provide value. Avoid the plateau effect, introduce challenges and variations to maintain progress. Stay flexible with identity-based habits, adapt when necessary rather than clinging rigidly to a habit. Prevent obsession, ensure habits enhance life rather than dominate it. Applying habit strategies to different areas of life. Now that we understand how habits work and their potential downsides, it's time to explore how they can be applied across various areas of life. Habits impact personal growth, professional success, relationships, and health. By strategically implementing habit-building techniques, we can create lasting improvements in these domains. Personal growth. Learning and skill development. Regular reading, deliberate practice, and journaling can enhance personal development. Start small, reading just a few pages daily or writing for 5 minutes so that learning becomes a habit. Time management. Structuring daily routines with productive habits like planning the next day before bed or setting focused work intervals helps increase efficiency. Professional success. Work productivity. Implementing habits like prioritizing tasks, setting clear goals, and maintaining structured workflows can optimize performance. Networking and collaboration. Small habits, like sending one email per day to build connections or maintaining follow UPS, can lead to significant professional opportunities. Relationships and social well-being. Active listening. Developing the habit of listening attentively during conversations can strengthen relationships. Regular check-ins. A habit of sending short messages to friends or family members can help maintain connections over time. Health and well-being. Exercise and fitness. Creating simple fitness habits, like walking for 10 minutes daily or stretching every morning, can lead to long-term health benefits. Healthy eating. Meal prepping, mindful eating, and reducing processed foods can become effortless through consistent habit formation. Mental health. Mindfulness practices, gratitude journaling, and scheduled breaks can enhance overall well-being. Key takeaways from applying habit strategies. Small habits in different areas create long-term improvement. Focus on consistency over intensity. Sustainable habits drive success. Adapt habits to fit personal and professional goals for optimal results. Sustaining habits for lifelong success. Building good habits is only the beginning. Sustaining them over a lifetime is the real challenge. This section explores strategies for maintaining and refining habits to ensure long-term growth and consistency. The importance of long-term thinking. Many people approach habits with a short-term mindset, focusing on quick results rather than sustainable progress. To maintain habits for life, adopt a growth mindset. View habit building as a lifelong journey. Think in decades, not days. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Focus on continuous improvement rather than flawless execution. Avoiding burnout and overload. Sustaining habits requires balance. If a habit feels overwhelming, it's more likely to be abandoned. Strategies to prevent burnout include pacing yourself. Avoid drastic changes and build habits gradually. Allowing flexibility. Missing a day occasionally is fine, but avoid missing 2 in a row. Rotating habits. Introduce variety to maintain engagement. Adapting habits to life changes. Life circumstances change, and habits must evolve accordingly. Adaptability is key to long-term success. To adjust habits effectively, reassess priorities periodically. What worked before may not be suitable now. Modify habits based on new goals. Align behaviors with current aspirations. Stay open to experimentation. Try new techniques to maintain effectiveness. Reinforcing positive feedback loops. Sustaining habits is easier when they are linked to rewarding experiences. To reinforce habits, use habit tracking. Visualizing progress can boost motivation. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge milestones to stay engaged. Leverage social accountability. Share progress with others to stay committed. Final takeaways for lifelong habit success. Think long-term habits should be sustainable for a lifetime, not just a short-term fix. Maintain balance. Avoid burnout by pacing yourself and allowing flexibility. Adapt to change. Adjust habits as life evolves to keep them relevant. Reinforce success. Use positive feedback loops to sustain motivation. With these principles in mind, habits can become the foundation for continuous growth and success throughout life. By implementing these strategies, individuals can create lasting change and achieve meaningful personal and professional development.